What's up guys, Lee Fryer here, welcome back to the channel, and yes, I have finally found the perfect camera, in my opinion, and you guys just saw it. The Canon AE1, it's the perfect camera. 35mm SLR, shoots in, well, film, black and white, color, no flip screen. Actually, no screen whatsoever. Came out in, I don't know, when did this thing come out? Let's see. (1981), a year before I was born. So it's an oldie, but a goodie. So yeah, perfect camera, guys, right here. Alright, just kidding, guys. Alright, so I really have, in my opinion, found the perfect camera, and actually I am currently filming on it. And when I say the perfect camera, I mean the perfect camera for me. And like I said, I'm currently filming on it right now. I'm going to show you guys in this video the Canon EOS R. So that is my new main camera for basically everything. So like I said, I feel like this is the perfect camera for me. So let me specify, I'm not at all saying this is a perfect camera. There's no such thing, but I'm gonna get into why I feel like this is the perfect camera for me. So anyways, don't go nowhere, stay tuned, I'll be right back. Alright guys, welcome back. So if you guys are new to my channel, the kind of things you guys will see here is tips, tricks, reviews, and tutorials for the budget filmmaker / content creator. If that is something you guys are interested in, consider subscribing right now. Alright guys, so like I said earlier, we're going to go ahead and get into why I feel like the Canon EOS R is the perfect camera for me. Alright guys, so I'm going to get into the 4 reasons why I feel like this is the perfect camera for me, and I'll just kind of briefly explain why those 4 things are important to me when I'm looking for a camera. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So reason number 1, I'm a video first person. I'm getting into shooting photos, but I'm still a video first person. And the codecs in this is a very high bitrate codec. It is an 8-bit file size, but it has the high bitrate codecs, so it does give you a little bit more room when you are color grading. It does give you that flexibility. When I was deciding on this camera, it was actually between this and the Sony a7 III, and really the video codecs were one of the main reasons I chose this over the a7 III. It was a very close race, and I feel like the a7 III is still an amazing camera. I've never gotten to use it, but I've seen so much on that camera. It looks like an amazing camera, and I'm sure it is, but those video codecs were one of the reasons I chose this over the a7 III. Now, I know this does have a handicap when it comes to the 4K, because unlike the a7 III, it does not have the full sensor when it shoots in 4K. You get a 1.6 times crop, which basically makes an APS-C size sensor when you're shooting in 4K. So that does suck, but I still use it. There's a lot of things I can still use it for. It just have to have that certain situations of when you want to use it. It's nice because you actually can get that extra reach on your lenses with that crop in the 4K, and you're not losing any kind of quality, so that is a plus. But yeah, I do wish it was the full frame sensor, so that is one handicap with it. But I shoot in 1080 on this thing when I'm doing my talking heads, vlogs, whatever, and I upscale it to 4K, and honestly, the quality, unless you're really pixel peeping, I don't really think you're gonna notice the difference that much. So that is reason number 1. The video codecs is one of the main reasons that I chose this camera. Reason number 2, like I said earlier, I am getting into photography, and this is a great photography camera. It's a 30 megapixel sensor. I've taken photos with this thing a bunch now since I've had it for the past few weeks, and it takes amazing photos. I know prior I had my GH5, and I did take some photos with it and show how good a quality it can shoot with photos, but to be honest. It doesn't hold a candle to this thing. This thing takes amazing photos. So now it's nice that I have a camera that's my full-time video camera along with my full-time photo camera, so I don't have to have another body to take photos. So because that's what I was doing for a very long time, and this camera accomplishes both of those things. I can do my videos, my talking heads, whatever it is that I'm doing with this camera, and I can use it as my photo camera too. So it's nice to have that flexibility with one camera body, because having two camera bodies is expensive for one, and for two, I've had the multiple camera bodies, and more often than not there's one camera I always use and the other ones just sit on the shelf and collect dust. That's, to me, it's a waste of money. Until I can justify having that extra camera body, one is more than enough for me. So again, the photography aspect of this camera is reason number 2 that I decided to go with the EOS R. Reason number 3, the autofocus. The autofocus is great on this camera. Now, I still feel like the Sony's is a little bit snappier than the Canon's, but it's not that big of a difference. It's still very reliable. I can trust it. I'm not sitting over here looking at the screen constantly like, am I in focus? Am I in focus? I trust it. I know when I go back and post and I look at it, primarily I'm going to be in focus, so I don't worry about it. So that's one of the main things I love about this. There's no fiddliness. Put on the tripod, hit record, set it, forget, I'm ready to go. Now the GH5, that was my last camera I was using, if you guys have been following me for any length of time. The autofocus, I've owned, counting the GH5, I've owned 5 different Panasonic cameras. The GH5's autofocus was by far the best, but I still couldn't trust it. I still had to use the Panasonic app when I was doing things like this with it. And if I tried to do autofocus, if I was sitting here kind of doing this kind of stuff right now, I would go back and look at the videos and I could still see that pulsing in the background, and it drove me crazy. There's one time I used the autofocus on, that's when I did my photography vlog on it, the few videos back. Not when I was vlogging with it, I was using autofocus, and it actually held up pretty well, but at the end of the day I just couldn't trust it. And coming from, I've had Canons in the past, I've had Sonys, and those autofocus systems were great. So leaving those systems, going back to Panasonic, I didn't realize how much I was going to miss autofocus. I thought, it's like, it's not that big of a deal, but I really missed having a reliable autofocus. So that is reason number 3. The autofocus on this thing is amazing. And reason number 4, the thing I was just looking at during the last little topic we were discussing, the flip screen. That is basically one of the second biggest reason as to why I chose this over the Sony a7 III. Whichever one I chose, whether it was this or the Sony a7 III, they were going to be my primary camera. It's going to be my talking head camera like this. It's going to be my vlogging camera. It's going to be my photo camera. And even though I trust Sony's autofocus system, I did not like that I could not see the screen in some way, shape, or form. It did not articulate around. It did the, articulates up, down, and kind of, does all the articulation in the back of the camera. There's nothing that flips around where you can see yourself. And I've heard of people that have done talking head segments like this, or vlogs, and they can't see the screen and they think they're in focus, and they go back and post and look at their video and the whole thing is out of focus. That would be so frustrating to me. So that was big deal number 2 that caused me to choose the Canon EOS R. My dream camera was obviously the Sony a7S III, but that was way out of my price range. So maybe one day, but I'm pretty well invested now in this Canon EOS R, so I think I'm going to be sticking with this system for a while now. But yeah, the flip screen was one of the second biggest reasons as to why I chose the Canon EOS R. Alright, so those are the 4 reasons. Just want to kind of, recap everything. Again, I'm saying this camera is perfect for me as far as everything that I want to do. It doesn't do one, I look at this camera and I could say it doesn't do one specific thing great, but it does everything to me that I needed to do really good. And that's what I'm looking for in a camera, is something that's going to do the things that I needed to do efficiently and effectively, and this camera does that. Again, it's going to be everything camera. It's going to be my talking head. It's going to be my vlogging camera. It's going to be my photo camera. When I have some professional work to do, which I actually have my first professional work gig coming pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. So it's going to be doing that for me as well. So it's going to be doing everything, and I need it to do a lot of different things well. And like I said, it doesn't do one specific thing amazingly, but it does a lot of things very, very well, and that's what I want. That's what I love about this camera. You know, there's so many cameras out there that do amazing things, and this one just does it for me, and I'm so excited that I have it, and I'm excited that I finally found the one that I'm not going to be jumping from this camera to this camera to this camera. I had this camera for about 2-3 weeks now, give or take, and I'm happy with it. There's still no regrets. There's still no like, man, should I have done that? And every camera I've gotten in the past, there's always been that little bit of doubt. This is the first time I can actually say definitively, like, having a camera, like, I'm actually 100% happy right now. There's no regrets, and I'm super happy about that. Anyways, alright guys, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If there's anything you guys want to see, please leave a comment, let me know. Again, hit that like button, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. We will see you guys at the next video. You guys have a good one.